Okay, so for number 2, I'm looking at sodium, correct? Sodium, I look up above in the chart above, and it might get a little tricky because sodium's not obviously which one it is, but at this point you have several different periodic tables, but sodium happens to be Na. So if I look up there and see sodium happens to be Na, again, when you go to take your test, hopefully it'll be inside the classroom. In the classroom, that sodium will be written on that left-hand wall. Okay, but there it is. So sodium, take a look at sodium, Na. I go, all right, so sodium's Na. It's normally 23, 11 sodium. Now notice I flipped the numbers upside down. That's exactly what we always did in last chapter, right? So that means I have 11 protons. So I'm going to make this bigger, I think, is what I'm going to do. Let's see if I can make it bigger so it's easier to see, like on what I'm drawing on. No, I don't want to do that. No. Let's select it. Let's see if I can make it bigger. There we go. All right, so make it easier to see for you guys. Okay, so I now know I have 11 protons, correct? So now I'm going to go in here. I'm going to write 11 protons, right? And then I look over here. It says 23 total mass. That means I have 11 plus what is 23? 12 neutrons here. Again, that's last chapter. We haven't done anything new there. Now I got to start filling in my shells, right? So I start to try to fill in my shells. Now when I fill in my shells, I know that I have 11 electrons to fill them in with. Now the question is, how many electrons go in each shell? And that's when I use my great big cheat sheet. So I look back at my quiz. I'd specifically look right up in this area right here, right? And I notice this chart. So I'm gonna actually put it on my little working area so that you can see it. Copy. And then I'm gonna drop it over here. No, I'm not. Drop it in over here. Nope, still not the right spot. Where is paint? There's paint. I'm gonna let's hit paste here. Paste. There's paste. See if I can move it before it gets all clunky. Okay, so I got that over there. All right, so I'm ready to work some more. So I take a look at this and go, all right, well, here's my periodic table. Now, a periodic table is the greatest cheat sheet ever. I keep saying that. What do I mean by that? Well, look. If I look over here, that's the first full shell of electrons, and there are 2. The next full shell is 10. That means that 2 plus what gives me 10? There must be 8 electrons in the second shell. And then I look at the next shell, 18. 10 plus what is 18? There must be 8 electrons in the next shell. So there are 2 in the first shell. I'm allowed to put 2 in the first shell, 8 in the second, 8 in the third. All right. So I go back over here. I have a total 11. So I can put 2 in. So boom, I put in 2. Is that the same thing as 11? No, I'm not there yet. I got another 9 to put in place. Well, how many can I put in the next shell? The next shell I can put in 8. So I have a maximum of 10 electrons. So if I get to the second shell, I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I put 8 now. That means I got a total of 10 electrons in the second shell, but I needed to put in 11. I don't have 11 yet. All right, so how many do I put in the next shell? I can put a total of 8 more in the next shell, right? So I go to put 8 more, but I only have 1, so I only put in 1. All right, so running through it again. If I have 11 electrons, I'm allowed to put a maximum of how many in the first shell? 2, so I put 2 in the first shell. Then it says I can put a total of 10 when I'm done with my second shell. All right, but that means I can put 8 more in my second shell, right? Because I have 2 in the first shell. 8 more gets me up to 10. But I needed 11. All right, because sodium has 11 protons. It must have 11 electrons. So how many goes in the next shell? I have 1 left over. I put it in the next shell out. All right, that's how you do one of these types of problems. All right, so I'm going to say